Hi, my name is Nacho, welcome back to the channel, and the trailer for Deadpool 3 just dropped, and boy does it look juicy. If this is your first time in the channel, how you doing? I mentioned a couple times already how Deadpool is my favorite character out of all of Marvel. It's one of the few I've actually read comic books of, one of the few superhero movies I've watched in the cinema multiple times. It's one of the few superhero movies outside the Infinity Saga that doesn't actually suck. So the announcement of Deadpool 3 had my very rusty fanboy engine revving up again. And the trailer looks dope. Had some great shots like the fancy reload slow-mo that's making rounds on Twitter. Also, that's the 20th Century Fox sign all destroyed back there. Kinda funny, since it was Disney the one who bought them. It features the return of Wolverine in his comic book accurate suit. It only took 24 years. Some of the classic Deadpool members are back, like Colossus, Blind Owl, Negasonic and Yukio. The return of the OG Pyro from X2 in his original comic book outfit. Fucking Peter is back from the dead. It looks sick. And it's the first time in a long time that I'm excited for a Marvel movie that I will go see on release, as well as a lot of understandably wary fans out there who believe that this will finally be a good MCU movie. However, not everybody thinks the same way. I do believe that the internet has given a lot of dumb people way too much liberty to speak their mind, so to this one tweet of someone saying this is the coolest shit Marvel has done in years, to which I'd say, it's definitely up there, woke up some of the dormant bots that still think the Marvels is the best shit that the MCU has made since its inception. It's definitely one of those things. But the general reply to this was the overlay CGI clip of the three main leads from that godforsaken movie fighting the most forgettable and unthreatening race and gender swap villain in the history of the MCU that literally imploded herself at the end, saying that Marvel gave us this literally in the last 6 months. Not a lot has been said about that film ever since, huh? Anyways, the comments that didn't dare to intervene on the copium addiction these people have gone on saying that both of them ate. That 5-second reload segment looks so much better than the entirety of the Marvel's action scenes, if you can even call them that. If the latter ate anything, it was probably shit. One comment that I personally got involved in was someone mentioning the good camera movement of that scene, and this lady commented a big hello? With the same 3-on-1 fight clip from the Marvels, objectively comparing the both. The camera movement is more fluid and easier on the eyes, the motion blur is not turned up to 100, and there is no weird looking CGI in sight. Sure, it's not a fair comparison cause that's a clip from the trailer, but still. Anyways, this one guy commented something funny. I added how paramount having a musical number is to a superhero movie, and she brought up that if James Gunn had made this movie, y'all be thinking different about it.
The fuck has that got to do with anything?
Not to assume that her intentions with that comment is to suggest that this is because he's white.
That's probably it.
But yes, a lot of people, or at least someone, would have gone seen the Marvels if James Gunn has been a part of it, because it would have been a totally different, potentially good movie. But not because he's white, but because unlike Nia, he kinda knows what he's doing. The guy has been around. She then brought up Candyman, the other movie Nia did that hardly made any money before she was giving a $250 million franchise, saying that James Gunn didn't do anything good up until 2010, which is kinda true. Dawn of the Dead though, that was pretty sick. He then went on to direct 3 of the most successful Marvel movies, an actual good sequel to a terrible DC film, a very well received HBO original, and directed the only profitable movie Marvel had in 2023. So yeah, I would have given the Marvels a lot more credit if it actually had a good director, and not some fanfic writing, diverse hiring dipshit that called the fans racist and homophobic for not knowing how to do her job. Within that line of thinking, more people continue saying that no hate for Deadpool, but I wish more people paid attention to the Marvels, cause it had 3 women fighting alongside each other, and other implied that there should be a study on how the internet somehow convinced people not to go see that movie.
Objection!
If it was such an important event for women, why didn't they go see it? Barbie did alright, No one includes that movie making $1 billion when they talk about how the Marvels was boycotted by the hateful trolls. Speaking of hateful trolls, some other people boldly proclaim that if She-Hulk did the same thing that Deadpool, y'all be praising it. Like, there's such an apparent bias within the fandom and it's disgusting. Oh yes, the pride flag in the bio, clearly this person is a goldmine of unbiased opinions. I wouldn't say it's disgusting more than annoying that She-Hulk was a show made by people who knew fuck all about the comics, who spun the story around to make Jennifer better than Bruce because girl power, who made fun at the expenses of men, making them either complete idiots or absolute creeps, and made the fans the enemy purposely by making dialogue around what they thought was gonna be said on Twitter after the show aired. Also, they made a cool character like Jennifer Walters a miserable bitch who has no control over her life and has to catfish men to get any love from them.
Sorry, I'm sad and lonely.
She also has to ask Kevin to weave Daredevil back into her life after she sent him packing after having sex with him.
She-Hulk was making the exact type of jokes and you'll say it was cringe.
That's because it was. It was very cringe. Tatiana is not funny. Plus, Deadpool 1, if you didn't know it, was a love story. Also, it cost 1/5 of She-Hulk's budget and is getting a 3rd installment, instead of being cancelled. But on to the next hot take. This gentleman came out swinging, saying that this movie won't need to save the MCU because Marvel has never been in trouble. The reception and retention of the audience has always been the same. Oh, that's some good shit. After Endgame, phases 4 and 5 of Marvel managed to lose almost all the revenue made from all the Endgame movies. Disney Plus has lost 1.3 million subs just in the last reported quarter. The Marvels, last time I'll talk about them, lost $250 million in the box office, making it the worst MCU movie of all times. I'm pretty sure none of those things are a sign of a healthy brand, my guy. To say that Marvel has fallen off since Endgame, although excessive, it's not entirely inaccurate. It's funny how Wade refers himself as Marvel Jesus in the trailer, implying that he'll save the franchise, cause he knows it's doing poorly. Ryan Reynolds is not dumb or shy, and he will take stabs at anyone during the fourth wall breaks, especially against Disney with that pegging one-liner. Say all you want, but all the previous Deadpool movies had made bank, almost 10xing their production budget. I'm not a gambling man, but I'm willing to bet that this will be the first movie in the trilogy that could go over the $1 billion mark, especially because it brings Wolverine physically into a Deadpool movie, and any fans know how big that actually is. Now the final hot take, at least for this video, is one that I personally agree with, and is the fact that Deadpool 3 will heavily feature timeline jumping with the help of the TVA, originally featured in Loki. The thing is, I haven't seen Loki season 2. I've watched the first one and it was kind of alright. I thought Khan was kind of weird and did not understand why everyone loved Major so much back then, but having more of the TVA in this movie kinda makes me feel like now I have to watch season 2 to understand what's gonna happen. An interesting detail someone mentioned on Twitter is how the TVA might have been drawn to Deadpool after all the changes to the timeline he did at the end of the second film, healing the silent Deadpool from Wolverine, healing himself before taking the Green Lantern role. That was really funny. And that involving them in this one is kind of a clever way to connect him to the main MCU storyline, which I agree. I'm not gonna say I'm a huge fan of the concept of the time variance agency. I think it takes away from the importance of certain things within the MCU, like the Infinity Stones, which is why I was taking my time to watch season 2, despite me loving Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. So it kind of feels like homework, which is one of the things I sometimes critique from other Marvel IPs. It was easy before when it was 2 movies and 1 show a year, before the conveyor belt in the MCU sweatshop started working overtime, and you have to watch 5 movies, 3 8-episode shows that run for an hour, listen to the director's podcast on why representation matters, and read every IGN article saying why this movie flopping is actually a good thing. I love when they do that, those idiots. Before even watching the new movie. But because I think Loki is an okay show, I guess it's homework I don't mind doing. I've already read some about Cassandra Nova, who's a villain in this movie I didn't know much about, and I'll probably be reading the patch version of Wolverine that's also gonna feature in it. And yes, it is homework. Not mandatory, so anyone can dip in it as much as they like. The difference is that the effect that a good character with a good likable actor brings on a fandom is that it makes you want to get involved with the stories because you know that you'll get something back in the form of entertainment. So in a way, it's homework that adds to the experience. And like I said, I love Deadpool. So on July 26th, I'll have my ass strapped to the cinema with a bucket of popcorn and enjoy, hopefully, a good Marvel film. But if you watch this far into the video, leave us a like. Thank you so much to my supporters over at Coffee. You guys are incredible.
Yeah, boy.
Check out this video next. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the trailer? Does it look good? Do you not trust Disney anymore and you think they're gonna ruin this somehow? And as always, I've been Nacho. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.